Hello friends, welcome to Toy Cafe. I am your host, and in this video we have another custom dollhouse made from scratch by yours truly with a Halloween theme. This is a coffin that contains the room of a fortune teller who has a dark secret in the basement. Let's see how we made this. So to start out with, I bought a little coffin box, just a cardboard box from the dollar store. That was fairly cheap, and I didn't like the look of it outside because it was a little too friendly for Halloween. So I started with some veneer. This is just really thin wood. You can get this from any hardware store, well, some hardware stores. And you just glue it on willy-nilly all the way around to make it look like a real wood coffin. And it's very easy to work with because the wood is so thin. You can just use a pair of heavy scissors to cut the wood. And a little bit of white glue makes everything stick real nice. And around the edges here, I actually made the edges, the wood that's on the edges, stick up past the top, so that when I glue down all these pieces, they have a nice tight fit. And then I just use some sandpaper to sand them back so everything looks flush and pretty. Now we're going with some popsicle sticks because I need some boards, and the popsicle sticks are being cut down and trimmed with my trusty bypass pruners. So I'm adding popsicle sticks inside the box here so that I have a place to attach things more than anything else. This is going to form my floor and my wall and so on, so you're not going to see these pieces, but they are very important. So we use those to attach the wall like that, and we're adding some thinner popsicle sticks. I'm just leaving these popsicle sticks their normal width, just because it was just the right size, and where you're making things from scratch, sometimes you can just go with the size things are. A little wallpaper in the back there to make the box look more finished, and around the inside edge. It's amazing just how nice some wallpaper will make things look. A little bit of paint helps a lot too, painting those popsicle sticks and the outside of the cabinet. I'm actually using wood stain here to try to give it a weathered look. I think it came out pretty good. Pretty rough looking. A little bit of that Beacon 3-in-1 glue again, and now we're attaching the floorboards. These are, again, just popsicle sticks cut to length and stained. And they're all kind of uneven. I wanted it to have an unfinished look more than anything. And now we're back to some more veneer. I'm making wainscoting for the walls. I find that if you want your walls to have a nice finished look, nothing goes better than wainscoting. It's just very easy way to have a refined look. And I'm scoring some lines into the pieces of wood so it looks like it's individual pieces of wood paneling. Yeah, there, you can see it there. Easy way to do that so you don't have to glue together a whole bunch of pieces of wood, worry about getting them all straight. These are perfectly straight and match up precisely. Some more veneer there for the baseboard and chair rail. You need those for wainscoting or it just looks unfinished. And trimming those down with a pair of scissors. There I'm going through 2 layers just with a pair of heavy scissors there. Those are Frisker's scissors. They don't make that particular kind anymore, which is a shame because they're heavy duty and very sharp and excellent to use. They're my favorite scissors more than any. And now I'm cutting out a window here. I decided to go right through the wallpaper and the cardboard at once. Probably would have been better to cut this out first before I put the wallpaper in. Then I could have just trimmed the wallpaper easy, get a nice clean cut. Putting in a frame around the window, or a window frame. And I'm overlapping it a little bit to hide some of the grossness of my cut. It looks kind of rough there, so I wanted to finish that off. This is the bottom of a container that a bunch of croissant came in, or anything will do, but it gives you a nice piece of glass, and it looks pretty good, I think. A couple pieces of wood there for the mullions. That's what those are called across the windows there, mullions. Divided up into the individual panes. And now we need a curtain rod, so I got some of these metal beads and a bamboo skewer. Put those together pretty quickly and they look like a very nice curtain rod with some very fancy finals on the end. And I'm using ribbon here. This is just polyester ribbon, hot gluing it together to make the curtains themselves. And it doesn't really need to go all the way across because these curtains are going to be tied back, and you can hide a lot of sins when you tie back your curtains. Like, they don't have to be the full size, they don't have to be full length, and so on. Really hide a lot of things. So we're going to pop those on using hot melt glue so we can get it done quickly and easily without a lot of mess. Yeah, this is where hot melt glue really shines, getting those little details down. There we go. Now we need to make the table for the crystal ball for the fortune teller. And you can notice there's a hole in it. There's a little surprise coming up there. I'll show it to you when you get there. But we're just making the bottom of the table simple 4 legs, frame style. Adding some rungs in there as well just to make it a little stronger, a little nicer looking. A fancy table. Maybe not so fancy. And those are bamboo skewers again, square ones and round ones. Nice bottle of vitamins there to make circles. Don't need a compass, just anything round will do. Especially when you're making it from scratch, you can use any size circle you want, just make everything else fit it. And there's the legs onto the tabletop. And I decided it needed to be a little more substantial, my table, so I added this ring around the outside. This is all made of veneer here. And put it around the outside to make it look like a thicker tabletop. Maybe a little bit too thick, but it's going to be covered with a tablecloth, so you won't really notice how thick it is. It'll just look a little nicer. Gluing together the end of these skewers. These skewers have a nice fat end, so you can glue them together to make some panels or other pieces. Using my bypass pruners there again to cut things. Watch out for your fingers if you try that. You gotta be very careful. Some more toothpicks. Lots of hot melt glue. It's really a must here because these parts are so tiny and so light that it's really hard to get them to stick together unless you use hot melt glue. Using other glue, they will stick if you can hold them long enough, but just holding them in place is hard when you're working this small. And in case you haven't guessed, we are putting together a nice little wooden chair. Probably not the most comfortable chair, but I think it came out pretty well. Really looks like an actual wooden chair. I think I ran some rungs in between the legs too. Maybe not. No. So here's the tablecloth. It's going to be a 2-layer kind of thing. So I started with a piece of satin and glued it to the side. And I think this is the real trick to making your tables look believable, is gluing your tablecloth to the side of the table, because a normal real tablecloth, gravity hangs it down so it doesn't stick out straight. And it gets that beautiful drape look. Well, our little pieces of fabric just aren't big enough for that. So you have to glue it down to get the same effect, and I think that really makes the tables look nice, look more realistic. And there's the surprise, it kind of talked all over it. It's the crystal ball lights up. That's a little light that is meant to hang on someone's backpack or their jacket zipper or something like that. So when you go walking at night, like when you're trick-or-treating, you can be seen easily and people don't run you over or whatnot, which is always a good thing. So here I'm bending a whole lot of wire to make chains and shackles for the basement of this fortune teller's room. Those are old style shackles. They take it like a little rivet to hold them closed. Yeah, you don't see them very much anymore. A pair of handcuffs, those are the most common shackles you see now, but I like this old style, especially because they're easy to make. So these spider webs are just tooled fabric and a little bit of glue. I'm using the 301 because it's light enough it'll stay in place, and the 301 almost disappears after a while. Yeah, get lots of cobwebs in there. And here's our scary coffin room. Yeah, it's a room inside a coffin, so it's already pretty scary. And there are the shackles. Heaven knows what that fortune teller gets up to on the weekends. And there's the chair with her crystal ball on the window and back. And I added some more curtains in the front just to give it a little fancier feel, a softer feel, I thought. The edge was a little bit too harsh there. So a pair of little curtains there, and the glow of the crystal balls lighting it up. Oh, the magic seems to be fading. What's going on? Oh, goodness. Did you see the scary face in the window? And the lightning? It wasn't really lightning, it was just me with a flashlight. and a little scary face cutout to put up against the window. But anyways, so that was my Halloween coffin. I don't think coffins are exclusive to Halloween, but they're pretty good. And anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. And if you did enjoy it, please consider subscribing and hitting the little bell icon down there as well, so that you'll know when new videos come out. And if you feel like you want us to provide a little more support, I would really appreciate that. And thank you already. Down in the description, I have a link to some Amazon products that I use to build these doll houses. And if you want to pick up some of those, it would be great if you could use that link. Or if you just want to buy anything from Amazon, if you use that link first, it'll kick back a few cents to me and help support this channel and my crafts and all the effort I put into trying to bring these to you. So just something to think about. And I want to say thanks for watching. Bye-bye.